we'd like to sincerely thank our Patreon supporters. Hey, what's going on, everyone? We are at the National Reptile Breeders Expo
in Daytona Beach, Florida.
And we're gonna start it right off because I've never had anything at a reptile show before, but we have some of our T-negatives on display at our buddy Jason's booth, Amped Exotics. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, no problem.
Very cool. We were talking on the phone about what you're doing because we met, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago here in room 1.
In room 1? I think I came with Kenan. He had some tortoises to move.
Yeah, that was before you were friendly on the camera.
Yeah, I was terrified of the camera back then. I still kind of am. But let's talk about what you have here, and you were telling me about some really interesting projects that you're starting. What are these guys here? Because
these are normals. They're double head axanthic sulfurs, and hopefully down the road when these guys are big enough, we can create an axanthic sulfur.
That guy has nice banding on him.
Yeah, you can see some of the sulfur on the neck pattern, and there's another one hiding. I don't know if I can get him out. But you can see the pattern on the neck is very sulfur-like.
Yes. Really nice.
But it's all in the genetics, so they don't look all that great, but they are going to produce something really cool.
And then you have some visual axanthics in here. We have some good shot we'll put of Kagan holding one. You got some crickets in there, so they're able to feed while they're here at the show. They're beautiful. And Jason had mentioned, he's like, you need some for your property. But until I get a different substrate in the enclosures, because you know we house everything outside, I wouldn't get to appreciate them with that mud. But we're gonna solve that this winter. We're gonna go through all the enclosures and put a cleaner substrate. So maybe that is a future animal for us. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna show the difference. There you go, guys. Look at that. So you're replacing the yellow and cream on that monitor with stark white.
And these are clutch mates. So this one's head axanthic. And you can see the bellies. The yellow
Even
and
the
white.
head seems to kind of clean up the pattern a little bit.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
That is awesome.
Adults get more of a silver color as they get older.
Okay.
So it's like a silverish white.
We'll insert a picture of the adults here. Really cool projects and a really nice person to work with. So if you guys are interested, look up Amped Exotics. All right, so we're back at the show, second day. First day we kind of walked around, said hello to friends, and really didn't film much of anything. We had a great night out. We went to the auction last night, hang out with the group from Ship Your Reptiles. and we had a nice late breakfast. It actually felt like a vacation. We're getting to the show late. It's already lunchtime, and now we're going to start filming the things that piqued our interest yesterday. And we were walking along. We probably didn't notice because people were in front of this booth yesterday, but Kagan did notice today and just pumped the brakes, pulled right in, and right away you showed interest in these knobtail geckos. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
What's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Good
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
That was a fake handshake because we just shook hands about 2 minutes before. And you don't want to be filmed. Yeah, you do. Jerry.
Justin.
Great to meet you, Justin. And which animals here are you breeding, Justin?
Pretty much everything there on the top. So the knobtail geckos, some of the angler ones there as well. And then you got the spiny tail geckos.
Oh, wow. That spiny tail is very unique looking. I don't know if this camera's going to pick it up. We may use the better camera to get that picture.
What had caught my attention here was the albino knobtail geckos.
Okay.
I hadn't seen these in person before. I didn't even know this morph existed yet. That is really, really cool and really, really beautiful.
And we'll get some better shots with the other camera. I really like that.
Yeah, that tail
spiny
is awesome.
tail is crazy looking.
But they've also got the blazing blue collared lizards and some...
So I'll stop you. The story on the collar lizards is we were herping with everyone in Kansas.
Yeah.
And we were catching the collared lizards.
Yes.
But you guys were disappointed because it wasn't the colors that you see in the pet industry.
Well, yeah, those are line bred for those intense colors. And the ones in the pet trade, I mean, he's got a photo right here of one of the adults, what that can look like, just how big that can be.
That's wild.
But it was really cool seeing them in the wild, in their natural habitat, and like, you know, herping for those just naturally in Kansas.
And you're saying that they're already sexed, and you can sex them at birth because of the spots?
Yeah, it's spots under their tail.
Under the male's tail?
Female.
The female will have the spots. Okay.
Yeah, so from underneath they're white, and then there's like dark spots under the tail that you can see on either side. Like at this size, they're pretty easy to sex.
They're very cute, and they're eating like pinhead crickets, things
Yeah, a
like
little
that.
bit bigger, but yeah, crickets, like anything small that's moving, but we do crickets.
Okay. You know, this is a species I think Tom Holt should get for one of those large natural, because they can live as a colony,
yes,
as a group, like a male and multiple
like
females,
a
or
pair. And Tom Holt actually came and purchased a leopard tortoise from us earlier.
Did he really? No way.
Yeah.
That's funny. When was that?
Yesterday, like early in the morning, he came by and
we did not see Tom. That's
caught his
hilarious.
eye and he snagged it. You know?
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
And the Kimberly rock monitors.
Somebody offered a pair on a trade not too long ago, and we had to pass because we're not really set up for small monitors right now. We're really set up for the larger stuff. But they are super, super cool. Hopefully I'm not stressing them out.
Structure of their faces and the patterns they've got on their back and tail.
And that's for fitting in little rock crevices and such, for hunting and hiding.
That's just not something you see every day.
Justin Meeker, Reptiles. I hope you guys have a wonderful show.
Thank you. It's good to meet you guys.
All right, we are in front of Vinci Boa, and this is
Rich.
Rich. Great to meet you. Another fake handshake. We shook hands yesterday. So Kagan now has 2 boas.
I do.
And Kevin has like really brought to my attention all the morphs in the boas, and I didn't know that. The first couple shows I walked by this and really thought it was another booth full of ball pythons.
Okay, go.
Wait. And I'll say that because there was such a crowd around their booth, like 3-4 people deep. I couldn't actually see what was in the cases, but I just blazed on by. I did not know there were all these crazy morphs with the boas, and it's stinking awesome. I like bigger animals. You guys know that. I like ball pythons. Not saying anything against them, but I would prefer a boa over a ball python. Can you tell us about some of maybe your more special projects?
Absolutely. So we specialize in Central American boas,
Okay.
the smaller boa species. We incorporate that into everything else we work with.
Some of the new stuff this year, we did some raptor IMGs and we put blood into them. So this is an animal, as far as to my knowledge, they don't exist. These are the first ones that were produced.
Wow.
So this is a Coupe Pastel Raptor IMG 100% het blood.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And when you say smaller, what size are we talking?
The mother's 4 feet.
4 feet?
Yeah. She had a small litter, under 10. And, you know, I'm the type of breeder, I like the health of the animals and the well-being more than anything. I breed small animals, I get small litters, and it seems like they're much healthier. The babies recover much quicker, the mother recovers much quicker, they eat right off the bat. I don't go for size, I don't go for large litters. I like keeping them small and healthy.
Now, how do you control the size of the litter?
Well, Central Americans, you know, they're going to have smaller litters.
The size of the mom. It has nothing to do with the feed. Once you know that she's locked, how much she's eating afterwards.
You can overfeed boas. Boas are opportunistic feeders. If you feed them, they're going to eat all the time.
Okay.
We maintain our females and our males. You know, every month we feed the females. Every 3 weeks to a month we feed the males. You know, proportion size meals. We don't overfeed. And I think that's one of the reasons we're really successful on the production side. We don't have a lot of slugs and a lot of stillborns. We don't have a lot of deaths from our adults, only because we slow feed our animals and we raise them the right way. Smaller litters are just much healthier for the mother and the young.
I see that in my monitors as well.
I think it's in all animals, not just reptiles. I said if you maintain their food instead of overfeed, it's healthier for the longevity of the animal.
So I would say like my albino female, she lays pretty small clutches and she doesn't even lose all the fat on the base of her tail.
Exactly.
And she cycles again like 16 days later. Like it's ridiculously quick.
Yes.
And it's because she's probably laying smaller clutches.
She's healthier. She doesn't have to rebuild. She doesn't have to gain all that weight back because she never lost all that weight. Bill McAdams, people.
Hey, how you doing?
Great to meet you.
Same here.
So what about some of the other ones? Because I mean, I really like that, the dark ones.
Yeah, so these are the IMGs. This is actually an IMG Motley with some other codom traits involved into it, so he will be solid black. It just takes him a little bit longer when you add more genes into him. So, and he's young. He's just under a year old. So as he ages, he's going to be completely black.
They're stunning. They're stunning.
Thank you.
And how many years have the morphs for boas like really been out? Because my knowledge of snakes is from 25 years ago.
I would say about 20 years.
About 20 years. So like, you know, right when I stepped out.
Gaining a lot of traction the last 20 years. Before that, they were coming in, but they weren't combing through the shipments the way they are now.
Okay.
You know, an IMG could have slipped through 20 years ago. It's not going to slip through now.
Okay.
People are looking for things like that now. Anything that's colors or oddity or colors or patterns or stripes, they're pulling those and they're keeping those and creating the morphs that you're seeing today.
Well, I really appreciate you letting us film.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Your boas have always stood out among everybody else's. And you guys have a really interesting product that helps animals, snakes that go off of feed, get back on
the Vinci
feed.
Boa supplement. Yeah, we created that years ago, pretty much on an accident. We weren't doing this to sell it or to bring it to the market. We were just doing it for the well-being of our animals. People take vitamins and calcium, so why can't the animals do it? And these are calcium deficient animals to begin with. So they only get their calcium from the food that they eat. And if they're not eating enough food, they're not getting enough calcium.
Okay.
So
is that product here?
Yeah,
or?
we have it. We created the calcium supplement to put into the feeders of the animals to just, you know, give them a boost. And then
That looks like some old-time elixir.
yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. It also works really well for non-feeders. When they go off feed, you know, that 1,000-gram wall, you give them to these ball pythons and it'll get them back on food. So they won't lose any weight. They'll have enough weight for their, you know, their clutch.
Now, how are you giving it to the animal when they're off feed? A dropper or,
Yes,
or putting it in their water?
It's a pipette. And You could just give it to them when they're. Now this is an animal that's extremely off feed. It hasn't, eaten in months.
Okay.
And then you just, depending on the size of the animals, how you give it 1 meal, 2 meal, 3 meals, and then you put it down the throat. You squeeze it, you pull it out, you throw it away. You can also give it to the feeder, and we put it up the rectum of the feeder as a dead feeder, and then just feed it to the animal.
Yeah.
You can put it in their water, but they're not going to be getting the full effect of it.
Yeah.
It's down the throat or through the feeder is 100% consumption.
It's a smart product.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people say a lot of great things about this product, getting their animals back on feed.
It works really well. We give it to all of our stuff every month. We
Will
give it
it-
to them as a supplement.
Will it work on monitors?
100%.
100%?
John Adrogna uses it on all of his all of his high-end monitors.
Should we try this on Bubba? I think we'll show you a picture of Bubba, and I'll tell you a little bit about him off camera. You guys know the story of Bubba. He came to us old. We got his weight up, and then it kind of petered off, and we've been struggling to keep weight on Bubba. I know that he has very solid urates in his poo. He's had issues getting in his water tub, but I feel like he's been back in his water. I don't know. He's definitely a mystery animal, but he's one we love, and we'd do anything to save him. So I think we're gonna get some, and we're gonna try this. Kagan pulled over again. What did you find?
Some incredible bearded dragons.
They are fire.
Yeah, these guys are on fire.
What do we call
Her. So this is a hypo-trans leatherback. Hypomelanistic, giving it the 20 clear nails. Also brighter, like neon color. And then you've got the translucent, which gives it the solid black eyes, and darker color. So she's neon, but she's dark red. And then leatherback, which gives that pattern just an enhancement because it's a reduced scale, mutation. So that really makes that that pattern pop.
Look how proud she's sitting too.
So these dragons are.
She knows it. She does know it.
So these dragons have been produced over 14 years through 4 generations, selective breeding for red color, hypomelanistic, translucent, leatherback dunner combinations. We've never inbred our dragons, and there's no red monster influence on any of our dragons.
And this is Mark of Midwest Dragons.
Great to meet you, Mark.
Nice to meet you, and this is Katie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful lizards.
Thank you. So this is an example of a leatherback dunner. And when I was explaining how leatherback makes that pattern just pop, this is what I'm talking about. A dunner pattern or a dunner mutation is a reverse pattern mutation. And then what does is it completely makes that pattern explode. It could make it completely reverse where it creates lines down the tail, down the back, down the body, or just spots everywhere. It actually changes how the scaling is on the bottom of the dragon as well. So lots of cool things going on with Dunner. One of my favorite mutations. Happy to answer any questions, be of any help that I can be, even if you don't buy anything from me.
Anything, Kagan?
No, we were talking earlier about how you guys have these guys priced at the moment, and to me, like, this is an incredibly affordable animal that is beautiful.
Thank you.
That, is just way above and beyond your standard bearded dragon.
Well, we came really far off of our online price to be able to make sure that they go to good homes. And of course, we always drop our prices for those shows. And we'll update MorphMarket later on tonight.
Excellent. Yep. We had to do the same thing. Sign of the times.
Thank you guys so much.
Beautiful. All right, so we found Dr. Mike Gillan, and he's showing us the snakes he's got here on display at the show.
These are all John snakes here.
Oh.
He's got to tell you about all
John
these.
snakes.
Yup.
You're just holding that
here
chair
for
down?
fun, yeah.
Okay.
I'm hanging out.
Kagan was asking about these.
Chinese king rat snakes.
Okay.
So they start out as babies with no pattern, no really dark coloration. They're brown, they have very slight pattern on them. But as they age and grow, they develop black banding and really intense yellows, and it'll get even more intense yellow as it gets older. They're a very, very cool species. Super, super cool.
And these are free samples?
Yeah. For you, yeah.
Look.
Oh, wow.
That's an adult right there.
That's phenomenal. Holy cow.
He's about 7.5, almost 8 feet probably.
That is a beautiful snake.
I've been working with these for about 11 years now, and we have some really cool morphs going on that are new to the hobby. This is a leucistic king rat snake right here.
Okay.
I paired that recently this year with an exanthic. It's a black and white one. So they'll be double head. They're double head for exanthic and leucistic, so there'll be a double visual. I think the exanthic will pair nicely with the leucistic. It'll whiten that up and probably intense that yellow color or something.
And those babies are 100,000?
100,000? No, I sold at 1.2 today, and they were 800 each, and that was a good price, I think.
That's awesome.
But these are also...
Obviously, I was kidding.
These are het for snow.
Okay.
So this is T-negative exanthic double het. So hopefully these produce the first T-negative snows. We already have T-positive snows in the hobby now.
That snake is an absolute specimen.
It's got some weight to it, and it's. You ever feel a boa or something? That's how this snake feels. I mean, it's got the keeled scales though. It's really rough to the touch.
Okay.
Yep. But,
so is that the parent to these?
So he's the sire to these right here. Yep. This one's unrelated.
What would that guy do to my bat population in my bar area?
Your bat population? I don't know. I don't know if he'd eat your bats or not. He'd probably eat anything he can.
I'm not trying to get rid of the bats because they get rid of the mosquitoes. But
these guys would get rid of the bats because that's what they eat in the wild. These are the Ridley Eye cave racers. These are the lowland ones, and these actually live in caves. And they actually look like stalactites or stalagmites. One come from the ceiling, one comes from the floor. But these are like a cream color. As they age, it turns to a cream color, and then you get that white stripe down the back.
I could see that.
They just chill on the wall, and they eat the bats as they come in and out, and babies and stuff. And they're really cool.
The rat snakes by my house, they just wait for the bats to go up there and roost it during the day.
Yeah.
And they just climb up there and fill up.
Yep. And then I'll put this guy away. I want to show you another species, if you don't mind. This is the one I really wanted to show you.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
Let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
They really are.
That is beautiful.
Do you know what it is?
No.
It's a Costa Rican bird-eating snake, neotropical bird snake. Sustes bacillinotus was the previous name. Now it's Firenax bacillinotus.
Wow.
They're sexually dimorphic. The males have these keeled scales that come across the back. They're almost sharp to the touch. So in adults, you can visually tell males from females. The females have the ridges, but they're not as pronounced.
Okay.
Yeah. And they start off looking like little baby eyelash vipers when they're born.
Oh my gosh, they do.
And then as they age, they start to get as they shed, little specks of color come through here and there. And then eventually, 3 to 4 years, they come into their adult colors, and it's just a crazy transformation.
Now, why would that... Is this animal going into shed? Is that why
this animal just shed?
Just shed. So this is its
natural
prime
color.
Yep. Now, how would that benefit in the wild? I mean, I've been to Costa Rica many times.
Yep.
I'm not picturing how that's going to blend in.
Maybe there's some kind of flowering tree. I don't know.
Something specific. If anyone knows, please tell us. I would love to know.
But I can tell you this: they're super variable in color. Like this other line here is called my honeycomb line. Right here, right? And there's also red like this. Now I know on different sides of the coast, these are more Caribbean side, these are more Pacific side.
That would make sense.
So as far as the colors go, I don't know, they're super variable though, but this is its natural color and it's just a beautiful animal. I mean, if you look at the top of the head, the scales.
The eyes stick out so far.
Look how calm it is too.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful species. I figured you guys would enjoy that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Something you don't see every day.
And these guys, I just dropped feeding. So in other words, I'm using
The original.
setup.
So what happened was I started, before I was even on social media, this was like 11 years ago, I started looking at arboreal snakes and trying to find like a cool arboreal, because I really like green tree pythons a lot. And these popped up on Google. And so I had to find them.
Thanks, Google.
Yep, exactly. And then like I went to one of the reptile shows. It was actually Daytona, way back. And I went to Michael Barrera's table, and there was a bunch of them on the table. Nobody knew what they were because they looked like this. I knew what they were. I bought every single one I could find. Costa Rican bird eater.
You guys are interested in something very unique and special, Palm Beach colubrids. Check them out.
For real.
I'm gonna have Kagan hang out by more monitor able because what just happened here?
Take them. I'm gifting these to you. I think you guys need them.
I'm gonna cry. This is a species that I have wanted to bring into my collection for years. I mean, that is overwhelming.
You're gonna make me cry. Seriously, no, man. No, you're good. You're good.
There's like this hole in my heart from the retics being gone, and you know, there's just certain species that I have always gravitated towards, and this is one of them. So really, thank you. That is really, really kind of you.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm good.
You guys want some tissues? Use the back of my shirt? What is going on here?
I wasn't even thinking like emotionally. I just wanted her to have them. That's all.
That's amazing.
No, that's cool. That's awesome.
That is absolutely amazing.
I gave someone some last year too. So,
yeah. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, and those are well started. So.
That's beautiful.
Don't feel like crying.
We're in the big room right now, and we stopped in front of Tiki's Geckos. We're not going to do a whole big thing in front of their booth because we're actually going to link up with them and go to their property and look into all their breeding projects and everything they're doing there. They were nice enough to reach out to us when we first started the channel, and I think I've been so busy with building that we haven't like connected. But we've talked, we're gonna get together and we're gonna go to their property and do a proper film. Really good people, Tiki's Geckos, check them out. We are in front of Bayside Geckos. They're in the Tampa Bay area, which isn't far from where we live. And Kagan pulled the brakes because they've got some really cool, oh wait, I thought we were going over that way.
We're going on both sides.
We're going on both sides.
Love your show, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're on it now.
All right.
So he had just pulled out some animals for me. I took some really cool shots of them, but look how absolutely massive this leopard gecko is.
It really is. That's the biggest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, what would be a normal size for comparison? I would say something along these guys.
I mean, I feel like, so this guy right here is only 6 months old, and he's already as big as most leopard geckos that I normally see.
That max out. That's incredible.
Yeah, I love that guy.
What was your name again?
Brett.
Brett. Bayside Geckos.
Yes,
really
sir.
cool stuff.
I appreciate it.
Kagan got some really good pictures of the, what did you call those other ones? The sun...
Oh, the dark one?
Yeah.
The Black Knight Mandarin Tangerine.
Black Knight Mandarin Tangerine.
All right, we'll insert the picture there on that.
This guy's really gorgeous too. Super giant Tangelo.
Eyes half
So
open,
he's saying
like
that
having a really good stretch.
He puts the babies in front of the adults so that you can see the line that they come from. So this girl is his daughter. This boy is his son.
Very smart. Absolutely beautiful.
What's your favorite gecko on the table?
My favorite gecko on the table, man, that's the hard one. My favorite gecko on the table is probably my guy Yayo. When I got back into geckos, he was the first one I got just because he's my favorite morph.
Yeah.
So, and he's our logo.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is forever home and ain't going nowhere.
It's like they're smiling. Such cool faces.
This guy's pattern is really gorgeous too. And these are just some really
His name
awesome
is Mac
geckos.
Daddy.
It is endless. The different pattern variations, spots, different tails. Yeah, they're all so different. That is really pretty. This is what pulled us in, is this Black Knight Mandarin Tangerine. you guys can see. You'll see from the stills the orange underneath the belly. Just wild.
Yeah, I wasn't in.
All right, I had to stop in front of Kaleidoscope Chameleons and look at their beautiful Panther Chameleons. Really, really nice and fired up. This guy right here up front. When I was younger and we used to go into Strictly Reptiles and look at the cages of chameleons, I always just thought you were picking out the one that was more turquoise or the one that was more red, but you can breed for those general colors. Actually, I don't know a ton about them. I do remember Gio talking about the different colors, but you can't get all the colors out of everyone. They have a certain color base that they're gonna have. We're in front of the Ship Your Reptiles booth. We're not gonna film a lot with them because we're spending the next 2 days with them. They have a pile of reptiles that they're shipping out. People have purchased here at the show. So you can buy your animal at a show. You don't have to concern yourself with how you're gonna get it back home. They can handle that for you. So that's a really cool service they provide. Tomorrow, we're going with them to Iguanaland. And the following day, we are going to someone's property that keeps a whole...
Radney's place. What's it called?
Perfect Predators.
Perfect Predators. Yeah.
A whole bunch of crocodilians.
Yes.
Like 200.
Whoa.
It's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be cool. Kagan is gonna get in a bikini and wrestle them. We're in front of Wild Cargo, and Aaron is in front of us. I grew up going to their pet store. And not just a pet store, but it's a lot of feed and supplies. Like you guys are in the acreage area or right outside the acreage area. I think that we are going to do a future video going over there and probably trying to get some younger chicks to replenish our chickens. So we'll probably be at their shop soon. But Kagan also had some questions about the boas in front of us.
No, I just like knowing what your absolute favorite one that you brought to the show is. That's still here.
So my favorite one is one I brought that I'm not going to sell, and that's the Super Phoenix boa constrictor up there, which is currently in with the IMG. And then the Super Phoenix is, of course, a double copy of Hypo, Central American T positive, and blood, all visually represented in one animal.
Beautiful.
So that's a super great one. There's tons of stuff. You know, it's just the sky's the limit on boas right now. I mean, everybody loves them. Everybody loves the colors. There's some other stuff like the rainbow boas that are coming out. People are still hopping on the ball python train, getting a little bit less and less. A lot of monitor people coming in. You know, like you said, Jerry, you know, we're wild cargo. We're not boa oriented, although that happens to be one of my favorites, but we also do turtles and tortoises. My wife loves turtles and tortoises. Just bought a bunch of Umpimbe mud turtles, which originate out of the Congo River. Super rare turtle. They don't get big, not like that big. Super pretty and puppy dog tame. They are just, anyways, I can't speak enough.
You have one or two at the shop?
Yeah, you want to see one?
Oh, you got one here?
So this is an Umpimbe turtle. Look at that head stamp. I mean, it is just unbelievable. And if you guys are looking for more of these, say hi to Bill. Bill, say hi. That's Bill Ninesling right there.
We talked earlier.
He's one of the OGs. He can definitely hook you up on more of these guys, and he's got all sorts of really cool stuff.
We had just figured out through conversation that we knew each other from 30 years ago.
Oh, probably, yeah. He's been around, man. And not for profit, but for entertainment purposes, education purposes, be able to open up the house to allow people to come out and enjoy themselves.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of us in Florida are trying to do, some of that eco-tourism. Be able to do and keep what we love and then share it with other people where they can enjoy it, appreciate it, and keep the hobby going, especially introducing younger people, kids into it. And, you know, if we can get that Hobbit house built and set it up where people come and stay at our place, maybe Aaron could be one of the people that you guys could possibly book on a Saturday or Sunday.
Absolutely.
And go.
But these guys, I love these guys. Out of all the turtles that my wife has, which is like a lot.
Yeah.
So, and for everybody watching, there's 328 species of chelonians, give or take. Chelonian's a big word for turtle, tortoise, and terrapins. Anyways, it all incorporates, and then these guys, the smaller type of terrapins, are just beautiful animals, and you know, these guys are probably one of the most puppy dog tame type critters I've got. Somebody just turn off my light. I guess we're shutting down.
Yeah, they are shutting down.
Well,
we're going to see more of Aaron shortly. Next couple of weeks, we're going to come and visit them. Wild Cargo in West Palm Beach. All right, we are on our way out. They are turning the lights down already, and we had to say hi to our good friend Sean, the Tortoise King.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Always good to see you.
Yes, always.
How'd you guys do at the show? Good?
Yesterday was much better than today, but can't complain. We sold some tortoises, so
shook hands with some good people.
We did. We got to meet some cool
and like
people.
You said, this is your vacation also,
That's
right?
So we get to sit and
had some good drinks, some good food.
That's right. That's right. Got to see a bunch of weird people.
Anything different, exciting? I know you're always.
This is kind of exciting. We have. So these babies here are the product of this female and this male, and we're thinking that Miss Blondie here is potentially a hypo, probably from a different region, but she was an import 30 years ago as an adult. So we're going to try to prove that out. If it proves out that she's hypo, then...
So do you think that her babies will end up more yellow like her in time?
They are usually much lighter, and they do maintain that more of a red head, but their plastrons are a little different. They're a lot lighter than all my other ones. So if she's hypo, then they're head hypo. So we got to prove that out. We got to see.
Now, do tortoises do the same thing as monitors? Like, whereas as a baby, I feel like they're darker, like the blacks are darker and strong and stuff like that, but as they age, you'll start seeing more of the yellow start taking over and getting lighter.
I think it's opposite with the Redfoots. They
Okay.
usually start off lighter and they get darker.
Okay.
But some of mine will actually keep more of the, like her babies will usually stay lighter. So
Yeah, no worries.
Awesome.
yeah.
That is an exciting project.
Yeah.
And she is a stunner.
Yeah. That's the father. That's Big Red.
All right, so 2 years ago, or was it last year, I'm like, oh, we got to visit.
Yeah,
and we've been so consumed with construction, we haven't done all this stuff, but we have to. We got to come visit. I would love to see all your tortoises.
See your place out in Okeechobee.
You're welcome anytime.
All right. Well, cool. Appreciate it.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jerry.
You'll see him again on the channel soon. All right, guys, our very last stop of the show, we are in front of Hawaii Herpetological. And you are?
Ken.
Ken. We're in front of Ken. Pleasure to meet you. Again, another fake handshake. We talked yesterday, and I knew we were gonna come and talk to him today because you guys are doing great things. As everyone knows, Hawaii is a very fragile ecosystem, and they're very, very strict about what you're allowed to have there.
Yep, absolutely. Very few species, mostly turtles and tortoises when you're talking reptiles and amphibians, and some select amphibians that you can keep there as well.
Okay. And you were telling us about a very important tortoise project that you guys are working on.
Yeah, we've taken about 5 years to actually find and acquire some Pixis planicauda, which are the spider tortoises. It's one of the species that we work with. And this year we got our next group of 3, so we have 5 total, and we're looking to probably get another 5 to 7 more in the next year or 2.
And you said there's very, very few people that actually keep them, so finding another female or finding another male that you need, it's like almost impossible.
Correct, absolutely.
Yeah, or finding somebody that actually wants to let go of what they have.
Yep, it took like 4 to 5 years to just get in that circle and actually get to meet people that have them.
And you had some babies here?
I do, yeah.
And that's actually on your print, your logo and stuff?
This is actually a Burmese star tortoise.
Okay.
Yep. And so we have Burmese stars at the house too. They do really well in our climate. We're a little bit higher elevation. They seem to be a little bit more cold tolerant.
You have an extra large?
I do.
I'm gonna buy an extra large.
I'm gonna buy a small.
Oh, Kagan's gonna get a small. All right, so we're gonna finish this up by buying something. Very exciting. I love Kelly green. That's my color. So, anything else to add to that? Because I'm not very good at asking the questions.
Yeah. No,
I don't know enough about the tortoises to really know, but it's. You were saying about how they're threatened and how important it was to breed them in captivity.
Absolutely, and I think it's really cool. We're in a really unique environment because we're so isolated from any continent, really, the most isolated island in the world. We're able to provide a breeding programs that are isolated and less apt to be affected by any types of viruses or pathogens that might affect some mainland groups where they can spread. So as long as we keep our colonies really clean and we quarantine them when we bring them in, then we have a better place to really keep them isolated from other types of pathogens.
And you can't imagine how important that is until something happens to the wild population and they get wiped out. If reptiles aren't kept in the pet industry and reproduced in small collections, there would be no way to ever repopulate a wild population in some sort of catastrophic event. Just wouldn't be. And that happened with some sort of tortoise in the Seychelles, or there was a tortoise that got wiped out on an island that they repopulated, some private collector.
There was, that might be the Seychelles. I mean, today, I don't know the history that far back. We actually have a couple aldabras, but they're doing outstandingly well with producing aldabras and actually supplying captive bred babies to the rest of the world, I guess, in certain.
Absolutely. And I even bring that back to like monitors, like the black throat monitors. The industry is bringing in so many wild caughts because it's so hard for people to reproduce them in captivity, but we almost have it. I think we just got to change our soil type and our lay boxes, and I think we'll get it down. There's only like 2 people in the country that produce a clutch of blackthroats, and if we could figure that out, we could stop importing, because they're bushmeat in Africa and they're not protected over there. So you also run into that where everyone's eating that population. It's happened with sea turtles, it's happened with all sorts of stuff worldwide, different river turtles and stuff like that. If they're not allowed to eat these animals, but the turtles are accessible, no one's breeding them in captivity, you know, they could catch them and eat them until they catch the very last one, and that's it. They just might not be aware. Well, it's a beautiful thing you guys are doing. Very awesome. Cool.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you.
And you're living in Hawaii.
Absolutely. We live on the, I live on the Big Island, Mountain View, which is the hilo side. We're right next to the active volcano. That's,
so I have to ask, living in Hawaii,
yeah.
When you come to Florida, is that slumming it? This, because you live in paradise.
No comment. I love Florida too.
No comment. I would love to go there one day. I would love to free dive. I would love to sport fish, and I would love to explore the rainforests. I absolutely would love it. Thank you for talking with us.
Yeah, awesome.
We're gonna finish our show right here. We're gonna purchase some shirts on the way out, and we're gonna get home to our animals. Until next time, everyone. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. See you soon.